Thousands of foreigners who are currently locked out of Malaysia are looking for legitimate ways to get into the country. And today we're going to talk about two specific visa programs that you can use to get into Malaysia despite all the current restrictions that are put in place by the government. And I also wanted to touch briefly on the Thai-Malaysia border reopening. Those of you who have lived the Southeast Asia routine know how easy it once was to live in Malaysia on a tourist visa. It was very easy. You could have stayed in a country for 90 days, just leave for a day, come right back into the country, and boom, you received another 90 days. And that's how a lot of people used to live in the country. Now with the pandemic, things obviously changed because you can't just leave to a country like Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Cambodia, or the Philippines, because in order for you to get to any of those countries from Malaysia, you most likely need a quarantine, and it's not cost effective anymore. However, what you can do is you can apply for certain visa programs that will still allow you to get into Malaysia despite of the current global situation. And one of the visas that I wanted to talk with you about in this video is the Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Programme. As the name says, this program is specifically designed for tech entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs with a technology business. In order for you to qualify for this visa, you need to meet certain criteria. In case you are a new entrepreneur with an innovative idea in the tech sector, then you're welcome to apply, but you need to meet the following requirements. And the requirements are that you have savings of at least 50,000 ringgit a month, and that amount must have been in your bank for at least 3 consecutive months. When doing this, you can either found or co-found a company, meaning if you have a partner and you both want to start this company together, then that would be fine as well. So you are both co-founders of the company, so you don't need to take all the risk yourself. Or if you have a partner that can add some good value, that has skills that you don't have, and if you can both come together and start this business in Malaysia, then naturally you split the risk among the two of you, and both of you would qualify for the new tech entrepreneur visa, which is valid for 1 year. And what you need to do during the first year is to set up your business in Malaysia. Okay, so you need to open up the company. You need to open up a corporate bank account. You need to have, some basic foundation laid out, some basic foundation created for the government to say after the first year's up, hey, you know what? He has done his part, she has done her part, and now we are extending her visa. And this visa is indeed extendable. And if we take a look at the kind of sectors that are allowed, because that is very important as well. So here we go. Agri-tech, health tech, drone tech, fintech, smart city, clean tech, right? Clean tech is green energy, solar energy, cybersecurity, very familiar term, smart mobility, artificial intelligence is becoming more and more popular. It's becoming increasingly more popular. Or in case you have a blockchain business, if you have some kind of blockchain crypto business, then you may qualify for the Tech Entrepreneur Program, big data analytics, Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is just a general term used for a lot of different businesses. So if you have like a marketing agency, if you have an outsourcing firm that relies on income from technology services, then this would definitely qualify you to apply for this visa. And there's a lot of other businesses that obviously fall in the Internet of Things, right? This would be traditional internet businesses, that are not one of the newer ones I just mentioned. So this is for the new entrepreneur program, right? If you're an established entrepreneur, then the good thing is that you can get a 5-year resident pass. Now, this is obviously a lot more powerful than, going the new entrepreneur path, because you get a 5-year visa and you get a resident card as well. And this visa can also be renewed, right? Once the 5 years are up, you can file for renewal and you can stay in the country for many more years to come. And very similar, you do need again, to have an innovative business idea in the tech sector, and you must present this idea in the form of a pitch deck presentation. The pitch deck presentation can be a written presentation, can be something like a PowerPoint presentation, and ideally, if you want to put in some work, I'd recommend doing a video pitch presentation as well, because anything that's visual, that's in the form of video is usually more gripping, in my personal opinion. And there is some key benefits when you're going with the 5-year resident pass. So one of the key benefits is that, yes, you get the 5 years, that is crucial. And you can also bring a spouse or a dependent like a child, That is very, very powerful. I'm not exactly sure if you can bring your parents as well, but it says eligible to bring dependents. So could mean that the parent is dependent, so the wife for sure, your kids, you can bring them. You need 2 years of track record in order to qualify for the 5-year entrepreneur visa. When the government says you need 2 years of financial track records, at least 2 years of financial track records, then what they want to see is that you have a business that generates money, that you have a proven business idea that you want to carry with you over to Malaysia. Another option is the Tech Investor Pass, the Tech Investor Visa Program, and this is also a 5-year resident program. So if you qualify for this, you get the 5-year resident pass, just like you do when you apply for and get approved for the 5-year established entrepreneur visa. Now, in order for you to get this, again, you need to be the founder or the co-founder of the Malaysian business, and you need to have invested minimum of 10 million ringgit. Now, this is not a small amount. That's about $2.5 million, but that's why they call it the investor visa. And you also must be registered with the Securities Commissions in Malaysia. And with this pass as well, with this investor tech pass, you are eligible to bring your dependents with you to Malaysia, something that is unfortunately not possible for a person that qualifies for the new entrepreneur visa. The Tech Entrepreneur Program, Tech Investor Program, is great for people that want to start a technology business. So if you have a traditional brick and mortar business, then this visa is just not for you. And just starting a company in order to obtain the new entrepreneur visa may not be the right idea, because again, it only gives you a year and you would have to renew it. And in order for you to renew it, in order for you to get additional years appended to the new entrepreneur visa, you need to prove some kind of revenue, some kind of business success, some kind of progression. I mean, if you don't want to start a technology business in Malaysia, then what you can do is go with the Malaysia My Second Home program. I know this program has really taken a big hit this year, not because the program, got suspended early on, when the pandemic started, but simply because the requirements have quadrupled, and you need to be comfortable investing that kind of money into Malaysia. In order for you to qualify for the Malaysia My Second Home program, you are required to have an offshore income of 40,000 ringgit a month, which comes down to roughly $10,000 a month. Now, $10,000 a month is not small income, especially not in a country like Malaysia, where the average Malaysian earns a lot less than 40,000 ringgit per month. Another requirement for you is to stay in the country for at least 90 days. This is a brand new requirement, whereas before, if you've gotten the Malaysia My Second Home pass, there was no minimum stay requirement, but now it is 90 days. So make sure you take this into consideration before applying. The fixed deposit amount is now 1 million ringgit. Used to be 150,000 and 300,000 ringgit, depending on the age bracket that you fall into. So this has, increased substantially as well. Definitely not a small amount for the average person. You must also prove liquid assets of at least 1.5 million ringgit, up from 500,000. So, the requirements have definitely gone up a lot. They've gone through the roof. So if you're comfortable, if you have that kind of money, it's not only about having that kind of money, it's also about feeling comfortable investing it in the country, because you're putting it in a fixed deposit account, meaning a good chunk of that money, at least 50%, you will not be able to touch. Malaysia's land border crossings with Thailand are expected to reopen in mid-January. I think this is great news for all the workers that had a really difficult time crossing, unless it was an extreme emergency or someone had a really good reason. It was not so easy, and it's still not easy until hopefully mid-January things will open up and people can resume travel between the two countries using any of the land borders that exist. Now, the land borders have been closed for a very long time, and I think why this is good news for you potentially is because if you happen to be in Thailand, if you want to come into Malaysia, if you're fully vaccinated, that is obviously a requirement. So the land border crossings, the vaccinated travel lanes, are only really available for those who are fully vaccinated. And there's another contingency. You must test negative upon arrival in Malaysia, and you must also book a quarantine hotel for 1 day. It will take up to 1 day for you to receive the test results. Usually only a couple of hours, but it can take up to 1 day. So you are required to stay at the government-approved facility until it happens. I know this is far from ideal, and a lot of you are probably thinking, well, this is not what I expected. I expected a country to open up without all these restrictions, without the quarantine stuff, without the testing upon arrival, all these things, because I am vaccinated and I don't want to put myself through this. However, what I want for you is to see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture really drags us in the right direction. It drags us into a direction where we see places open again. Which of the discussed visa programs is the most suitable for you, and when do you think Malaysia will reopen its borders to international tourists? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on visas, travel updates, and digital nomad locations several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a completely free copy of my ebook, Nomad Elite: How to Retain a Life of Freedom During Challenging Times. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And in case you got some more time left, feel free to check out these videos. Thank you for watching.